Let's hear your favorite app, non-Google app. What's your favorite non-Google app? Got to think on that one. It might be showing on this and might not be. Oh, Instagram. My granddaughter's just got me back on that today. I only go check that occasionally. Oh, Giphy's cool too. Yeah. You guys have to really think about this, huh? Oh, Twitter. Yeah. I love it. I learned so much from Twitter. Okay. If that's too hard, how about this? How about your favorite Google app? Which one's your favorite Google app? I'll kind of narrow it down for you. Drawings. Chelsea, there's so much we can do with drawings, right? And docs. Yep. There's a lot of really cool things that we can do with docs with our kids. I love the collaborative nature of it. And slides. Oh, I see slides twice. I missed that for some reason. Yep. Laura, you had to take Twitter off of your phone. Were you using it too much? But I have to say, I don't have notifications come to my phone on anything except for text and phone calls. So it would drive me nuts. Laura likes slides better. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So now tell me your favorite extension. And I'm not sure if I'm saying your name correctly. Is it Farida? You said Giphy, I think earlier. Is that you? So do you use the extension, the Giphy extension? Oh, okay. All right. Did you even know there was a Giphy extension? There's so many cool extensions out there. There's like, I was thinking that I should have named this the Google Chrome extensions you never knew you needed. That would be so fun. Grammarly and Joy Pixels. Yeah. Oh, Wakelet. Couldn't do without Wakelet anymore. Yeah. Oh my gosh. There's so many and so many different categories too. Okay, so what I want to do first is kind of go over just a little bit about extensions. If you're not very familiar with that, let me get my little arrow out of the way here. So an extension is simply a small program. It adds features to your browser so that you can do something in your browser that you couldn't do before. And it's very specific about what it does. Now, you can get these from the Google Chrome Web Store. What you do, you can find them actually on somebody's web page and they say, oh, get our extension, and you can click on it from there, or you can go directly to the Google Chrome Web Store and start shopping. But let me tell you, if you do that, you're going to end up with so many. So what you do, here's the link, but if you just Google Chrome Web Store, you'll find it. You are going to add it to Chrome. And it's really cool because there's a little add button. However, if you've already added it to Chrome and you just forgot that you did, it'll say added or something else. It'll be grayed out. So you won't be able to add it again. So you're adding it to Chrome. So it puts this little program in your Chrome browser. And then you can disable it anytime you want and enable it anytime you want. So once you put it in your browser, it's there. And you can shut it off, disable it, turn it back on, enable it. But you can also remove it. And if you remove it, it comes completely out of your browser. So if you want to use it again, then you have to add it back again. So it's kind of cool that you can disable and enable without actually taking it off. And once you get into extensions, you're going to see why that is, because you can add so many. And if you want to do this, look at all the extensions that you have already added. What you can do is go to the donuts, the three little dots in your Chrome, and then you go to more tools and then to extensions. And it'll give you a page of all your extensions, and it will allow you from that page to disable it or enable it, and also to remove it. You can also, if you want to find out more about that, go to the description of it in the web store. Now, you want to be careful with these too. You don't want to just add anything because extensions can often read and change your settings. So you want to be really careful about where you're getting it from. Who's the developer? Because there are people out there that are bad guys that or girls that actually create extensions to get information from your computer and your browser and your computer that you might not want them to do. So you want to be very careful. Look at, I always look at the ratings, look at and look at some reviews, look at the developer, and maybe you recognize them, maybe you don't. The more you watch for it, the more you'll recognize. Now, if it's in the Google Chrome Web Store, it's been somewhat vetted, but sometimes things slip by them. So you still want to be very careful, even if you get it in the Google Chrome Web Store. Also, and I found this out the hard way, there sometimes you can have an issue on your computer that is caused by one of your extensions. For instance, not too long ago, just a couple months ago, I could no longer get to, I think it was either Google Spreadsheets or Google Docs. It was something like that I couldn't get to, and it says you've been redirected too many times. So I actually ended up calling, I think, contacting Apple. I love the chat feature when you contact support. And they suggested I take off all of my extensions or disable them and see if any of those were causing the problem. And it was. And so what I had to do is just kind of go back and add one or two at a time so that I could tell what it was that was causing the problem. So if you ever have some issue that you can't quite figure out, check out your extensions, disable them, and then just add one or two at a time. So I'm going to stop right here and check the chat and see if you have any questions so far. Oh, ProctorU. What is ProctorU? I don't know about that one. Oh, is that an extension for the certification test? Oh, Chelsea, I got the Google Meet Grid View extension just last week or week before, and that was having a problem too, huh? I hope they've settled that out. And do we even need it anymore? I mean, because it seems like we have Grid View now in Google Meet. Okay, so if I actually, get to take my certification test in Google, then I'll probably figure out ProctorU, right? Okay. All right. I know, I got to get to it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on. And what I want to do today is share a lot of extensions that I know about, and I want to hear what you know about. Now, if you go to Google Chrome Web Store, you're going to see the extensions categorized. They're not the same categories that I have here. These categories kind of worked for me. So this is a Padlet that you're looking at on my screen right now. And there is the URL. So I couldn't put the Google, I wanted to put the QR code on here for you, but I couldn't quite get it big enough and without hiding anything. So I figured you can use the URL for this. But if you want to go to this URL, then you have access to this Padlet as well. Made it a public one, so you shouldn't have any issues. And I made it so you could like certain extensions if you want. And if you want to, you can take notes on these too as we go through. But I would also love it if you, when we start talking about these, if you would add some of the ones that you like too. So we're going to go ahead and move out. Oh, thank you, Chelsea, for writing that in the chat. That makes it so much easier. All right, so since we have that in the chat, I'm going to go ahead and escape my, excuse me, presentation. And I'm going to move out to my Padlet. Where's my Padlet? Right here. All right, so I'm going to actually start because I said in the title, Google Chrome and Classroom. Actually, extensions are only for Chrome, but I wanted to put Classroom in there because I wanted you to know that there's several that we're going to talk about that are in Classroom. So we're going to go start at the very last category, and I'm going to start at the bottom and let you know about some of these. And basically what's going to happen is I can tell you about these extensions, and then I want to ask for any other ones that you know. So if I'm talking about one that you already know about, you can maybe add one that you know about that's not on here already. But share to classroom is the one on the very bottom. So share to classroom, what that does is it allows, so that has to be on your student computers and your computer as the teacher, but it allows you to push a website to all of your students who are in your Google Classroom at the moment. So you can get everybody on the same page at the same time. So no more trying to deal with here's the URL, try to go to this one. You can just say, here we go, I want to push this one. You get to a website, you click on the extension, and then you can push that out to everybody that's in your Google Classroom. Now, it does interrupt whatever they're doing, so you want to make sure it's the right time. The other way is a student can push a website to you, not to everybody in the Google Classroom, only to you. So if they have a website that they would like you to check out, or you ask them to share one, they can push it to you. If you want to, you can push it back out to the kids in their classroom. But that's what that is. And I just realized when I said that, let me show you if you're not real familiar with extensions. So here you've got your URL field here, and actually it's called something else now, but over to the right, you can see these little bitty icons. Each one of these are extensions. Now, I only have these showing, but see this little extension icon? If I click on that, it shows everything else. So if I want all of my students, and if you guys were all in a Google Classroom right now, I could say, I want to push this out to you right now. And it's not, let's see. Whoops, did I miss it? Share with Google Class, share to classroom right here. So I would click on this, and then it would open up a window on the top and let me figure out what classroom I have and let me push to that classroom. So that's the way that works. So now let's see, and I'm kind of keeping an eye on for questions, so I'm not ignoring you. Let's go. The next one is add to classroom. So if you're on a web page and you want to add that to your Google Classroom, you can click on this. So I'm going to go ahead and go up here and get add to classroom. Right here. So in case you didn't notice, these are divided into two categories, which this is really cool. And this is fairly new here with Google Chrome. So it shows me which of my extensions has full access to this particular website that is showing right now. And then down here, it's showing me other extensions that I have that don't need access to that website to work. So it's up here, of course, whoops. Now I was going to add to Google Classroom right here. So if I click on this, it opens up another window, and I can share it to Classroom. So I share which one I want it to go to, and then I get to decide, do I want to create an assignment, a question, an announcement, or material with this? So when you're out gathering resources for your assignments or materials or whatever, you can very easily with the extension add it to your Google Classroom in whatever manner you want. All right, next one for Google Classroom is the Alice Keeler Classroom Split. This one is really cool because what happens when you click on this one, if I go up here and I find my Alice Keeler Google or Classroom Split, whatever it's called, Classroom Split. If I click on that, it will automatically open a new window, push my original window. So maybe I'm working on an assignment. I've got a Google Doc up, and I want to check this with what the assignment description is. So I click on Google Classroom Split. It opens a new window, pushes my original window over. It's got my assignment that I'm working on here. And then it opens that new window in your Google Classroom assignment page so that you can actually look at your Google assignment description. Now, there's also an option where somebody can also use, and of course, the kids would have to have this on their computer too, right? So they can also right click and choose a different URL to go to. So by default, it opens up the assignment page in your Google Classroom, but you can make it go to a different URL. So that one is really cool. And Alice Keeler actually has several extensions. Classroom Zoom is something different that is that from Zoom, like, you know, the web meeting thing. So that application has nothing to do with Classroom Zoom. Classroom Zoom is really cool. Now, I'm going to tell you that it has great ratings, but I haven't used it yet because I just found it last night when I was playing around with extensions. But it's really cool because, you know, when you have maybe assignments that kids are working on and you want to go look, you know, how much time did they spend on this? How many times did they visit this assignment? And you're looking in the version history to kind of check out, you know, what the kids have been up to in that assignment. Well, Classroom Zoom, when you run this extension, actually makes it in like a timeline view of what the kids have been doing, who's been doing what, and how much time they've been in it. So it just makes all that information in version history visual so that you can take a look at what that is. And it sounds like it would be super helpful for teachers that need to find out, you know, well, how much time are the kids really spending on this? And another Google Classroom one is Tammy. And this is a really popular one. This one really could have gone into my web apps because Tammy is also a web app, but it allows you to annotate on PDFs and other documents. So it kind of overlays a layer on top of documents, PDF or otherwise, so that you or students can annotate over that. So if you gave your kids a worksheet that was necessary and you wanted them to fill it out on here, they can use Cami to fill out that worksheet, whether it's a PDF or whatever. And you could use it kind of like a whiteboard layer, you know, where you could just write over the top of that document. So that's Cami, and it does more things too. Insert learning is such a cool one. This is an extension that allows you actually to insert things in a web page for your students. You can insert questions, like if you have them looking at a website and you want to ask a question about the specific part, you can insert a question, but you can also embed different things like a video. So let's say you have them reading or exploring something on a website, but you want to tell them something about this particular section. You could do a video of yourself talking about that or teaching about that concept or whatever, and you could insert that into that web page. So they actually just go to that web page, so they see questions, they see your videos, and there's all kinds of things that you can do with insert learning. And that is available right within Classroom too. So those are some really cool Google Classroom app or extensions that would be really helpful to you. And I would love to hear if you have other Google Classroom extensions that you're using or you've even heard of, and definitely put them on our list too. So check in the chat. I'll just wait for a minute to give you a chance. And even if you don't have anything else there, if maybe you'll tell me which one of these intrigues you. I'd love to know which one looks like something that would be useful to you. Are you guys out there exploring these now? Yeah. Yeah. If you look up Alice Keeler extensions, there are a lot of them. Shake Up Learning has a really cool database that has a lot of extensions in them, but everybody is allowed to add to that, I think, or maybe they have to submit it, and maybe she checks into them. I'm not positive, but that database is about 2 years old. So you kind of have to watch that because, it could be sometimes Chrome adds features to the browser. Um, and you don't need these extensions anymore. So some of the extensions in that list are old, and some of them are still very valid now. Awesome screen. Oh, I saw awesome screenshot recorder, and I wondered if anybody used that. Thank you. So maybe Maureen, you can add that to this Padlet too. That would be really great. All right. Oh, good, Karen. I would love to hear how those work out for you. I'm just so excited about insert learning. And I've heard about it, I've learned about it, I've known about it for a while, but I just actually haven't found a use in the classes that I teach for that yet. So I would love to know how that works out for you. Google Meet push to talk. I saw that. And Extensify. Yep. Yeah. Okay, so Maureen, so do you see the plus sign in the Padlet? Are you on the Padlet and you see the plus sign? If you click on that, and hopefully you guys can see the plus signs on yours because, okay, so click on that and then you just write the title in. And if you have a link to that, then go ahead and click on this little link icon and it allows you to put the link in. And on what I just used is I found it in the Google Chrome Web Store and use that link because so these links take you to the description of those extensions. But if you don't have the link, that's okay. Just write the title of your extension as close as you know, and then maybe a little bit about what that does. So thanks, Maureen. That's cool. Poll everywhere for Google Slides. That's cool. Yes, Screencastify. Oh, I don't think did I put that on here? I'm not sure. Oh, I think I did, but I think I put it in a different category. Okay, thanks, Chelsea, for that Shake Up Learning database. Remember what I said, though. Please be very careful and choosy when you are creating or are adding extensions to your Chrome because sometimes they're old, sometimes they don't work. It's really kind of cool because actually in the web store, if you go to that page, it'll like tell you, oh, this is compatible with your device, with the browser that you're using. So that's kind of cool. Oh, I can update my Padlet. Let's check that out. Oh, we've got Nearpod for Google Classroom. Yeah, that's a really good one too. I love Nearpod. Okay, so in Pear Deck, I was just wondering. So, Farida, am I saying that correctly? If I know Nearpod and Pear Deck are very, very similar. They have pretty much the same purpose. Do you have a favorite between those two? I'm always interested. Yeah, Chelsea, the extensions changed a lot. Pear Deck is what? Okay, Pear Deck. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of hearing. Nearpod also has a cost attached to it. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and move on to Google Apps. So these are just different extensions that you can get for various apps of Google's. Again, I'm starting at the bottom. So if you didn't know, you can get an extension to allow you to read and edit your docs, sheets, slides, for sure. I'm not sure about drawings. Chelsea, maybe you know about that one, offline. So that you can, if you know you're going to be offline, then you can go ahead and mark those so that you can actually access and work on those offline. Then when you are back online, it automatically updates them. And basically, this extension is not really an icon here. You have to be in one of your own files, and then you can enable that through Drive. Actually, you have to be in your Drive, enable that to be accessible offline. So if you didn't know about that, that's really important. And remote, oh, what's Chelsea saying about offline mode? Oh, yes. Yes. So some of our students won't have access to online, and this would be a really great. I also knew about a school last year that they would come to the school and they would get everything they need on their computer. And then they would take and they would be able to, they marked them so they could work on them offline. And then they took them home and they could work on them offline. Then they come back, go online, and everything updates. So that's really important. Yeah. Remote for slides is one that I thought was really cool, but it has just this little caveat. Remote for slides is really great because you get on you put the extension in, and I don't know if you noticed this right here. So I'm in slides right now, and I have this present button that you're familiar with most likely, but I also have a present with remote. What I do with present with remote, it opens another page. It opens in another page. Now look down here towards the bottom. Can you see this? It says remote for slides. So I go to this website on my phone. And once I go to this website on my phone, it gives me a code. Oops, there it is back again. It gives me a code. And then I insert that. I type that in. And then I can actually use my phone as my remote. It works great if you have good bandwidth. Occasionally, even though you're in the same room with this, and I could even be, at the front of the room and my computer's at the front of the room, occasionally there's too much of a lag. So it's not fast enough for me. So it's faster for me just to, walk to the computer and move it forward. But that's what Google Slides for Remote is. So I think it's a really great one. I love it, but it doesn't work every time. Also, if you use Google Keep, you can actually get an extension that all you do is click on that. See if I can look at, this list. This is what happens, right? When you have all of these enabled. So Google Keep, and I usually, where is it? Google Keep Chrome extension. If I click on this, it puts this website right here in a note for Google Keep. I can even write more information about it. So now when I go to my Google Keep, all my notes, this new one is going to be there. It's going to have this website that I'm on right now and any notes that I write. So it just makes it very quick to make notes in Google Keep. And also, there's the Google, I was going to say Google Meet Grid View, but now Chelsea's got me a little bit nervous about that. So maybe, oh, good, Chelsea. Maybe we'll hold off on talking about Google Meet Grid View for a little bit. But Moat, oh my gosh, you've got to know about Moat. This is one I found last night too, and I'm so excited. I actually had a class, a follow-up conference class and a follow-up training class. One ended Sunday and one ends today. And so I've got, I've been flooded with final projects, right? So I have some of them in, the participants have made their final project in Google Docs. So I can actually comment with my voice using Moat. So what I would do is I have to go to a document. It doesn't work on one of your own, but you go to a document that's not yours, and then you click the little plus button like you're just going to type a note, right? Or a comment. Only when it opens up that window where you would type, it has the little Moat icon. You click on that and you can speak your comment. And then you can go back and edit it if it didn't understand you very well. That one is so cool. And I think you're going to love having that. Really fun. And I know a lot of people, I wasn't going to put this in here. I know a lot of people know Read and Write for Google Chrome. This has so many features to it. It allows you and your students to actually, there's text to speech, there's speech to text, there's annotation, there's just all kinds of features. And while it's not free for everyone, it is free for teachers. So you just have to verify that you're a teacher, and then you can get Read and Write for Google Chrome. And there's lots of different apps there. So, other apps that you know about, I would love to have you for, or sorry, extensions for Google Apps that you know about. If you could put those on here in this category, that would be awesome. And while you're doing that, I'm going to check the chat and see if we have any questions. Yeah. Okay, so Chelsea, yeah, because we have kind of a grid view now in Google Meet, we may not even need that extension anymore. Oh, good, Karen. You are using the read write Chrome. Nice. You know, Frida, I've not checked to see if Nearpod is an extension. Oh, online voice recorder. We could check that out. I don't know. That's good. Oh, so Karen, when they use that read write, they can keep up with their peers so that they don't feel like they're really falling behind. That's so important. Nice job. All right. We are going to move over, and you guys can keep putting things in chat, keep adding here if you want. We're going to move over to web apps. So everything in this category, there is a web app for it. So you can go to their site and use it, but there's also an extension to go for it. And you see that I have a whole lot on here. Now, Screencastify is a little bit of it's different. There's not really a web app. It's only an extension. The last time I looked, which was April, is the last time I looked for that. And so you just get this Screencastify extension to go with your Chrome browser, and it allows you to take a screencast. You can choose, and I love this one. This is the one that I use most of the time. You can choose to have your the camera show you as well as what's on the screencast or not. You can show a window or your whole screen. It records it. There's some editing that you can do for it. It allows you to post it directly to Google Classroom, or it automatically puts the video in your Google Drive, but you can also, from this extension, put it right in YouTube. So there's some really great features of Screencastify. And if you're looking for a screencasting tool, this is one that I really love and that I've used the most. Now, Loom for Chrome is another extension of another tool that you can use for screencasts. So you can record. Again, it pretty much has the same features as Screencastify. Actually, I like some of the annotation that you can do better in Loom than it has more than what Screencastify has. But Loom is new, and I have to learn it more. So I just haven't taken that time to learn it. But there is an extension for that as well. Loom, there also are some features that cost, but they've been given to teachers free during the time of home learning. Now, I also have Diigo on here because, and I've got Wakelet. Diigo and Wakelet are two places where I keep my any of my bookmarks that I want to keep. So I keep, and I'm just kind of weird about putting all my eggs in one basket. I want to make sure that I have all my bookmarks in at least two places, because if something happens to Diigo, at least I have them in Wakelet. Something happens to Wakelet, at least I have them in Diigo. So I have an extension on here for Diigo. It's very close. It's right here. If I have already bookmarked this page here, there would be a little red bookmark on this extension. It's the second one over from the Omnibar, and it would show me that I've already bookmarked it. If I didn't, I can click this and it says save bookmark, and among so many other things, annotation, everything that you can do. I can add my tags right here. I can mark it private, read later, however I want to do, and save. So I can do that right from this extension here. Wakelet. Oh my gosh. No, so Wakelet's my new love, right? So I actually have put Wakelet as an extension on here, and you can also allow Wakelet to be your new tab page. So Wakelet is my new tab page. So if I open a new tab, I can see some of my Wakelet connections. Oh, here's another extension. And since I was waiting for it to come up, this is a Move It. This is the one I have in the health category. So what this is doing, it's saying, hey, you've been on the computer for an hour, because I set, 55 minutes. I set it for 55 minutes. I can set it for every 20 minutes, which is really the recommended for taking your eyes off the screen, looking away, 20 feet away for 20 seconds, right? The 20-20-20 rule. So if you set your Move It extension to come up every 20 minutes, then just make sure that you're looking away from your screen while you're doing whatever it says to do. And so you can run on the spot for 15 seconds and then you're done. The next time it comes up, it's going to be something else. And sometimes you can sit to do it. Sometimes you have to stand up to do it. So this is really a cool extension. So when I'm finished with that, I would click done, or I can just close, I can X out of it. So anyway, now we're back to Wakelet. So if I click on the Wakelet app, let's go back to this page. I click on my Wakelet extension right here. This allows me to just put this right into my collections. And if I don't have the collection already created, I can create a new collection. So I can just save them. It's so easy. And I just love Wakelet. So that's a really good one too. All right. Oh, Laura, you need to, yeah, it's so, I love this one. It's great. All right. Let's see, more web apps. You saw it was along Grammarly, and I asked one of my granddaughters. I didn't get to the other one yet, but one of them, I said, "What extensions are you using?" She was a senior this last year, so she graduated high school. She says she uses Grammarly all the time. So I have Grammarly on, and it actually checks my documents. And so many times, my Google Docs, it says, "Hey, this document's kind of long. You want me to take a look at that?" It will also tell you what kind of language you're using. If you're using like casual language with a friend, or if you're using kind of business formal like language, it kind of gives you an idea how you're writing. So Grammarly actually has a lot of benefits to that one. Now, Padlet Mini, if I click on Padlet Mini, and let's just go ahead and do that. Let's find Padlet Mini right here. If I click on this, it opens my Padlets and it lets me choose which Padlet I want to add this website or this post to. So this is a really cool app if you love Padlet as much as I love Padlet. Another one, of course, is Pinterest. Most of you probably know about, if you find something on the web page, a lot of times if you go over, like hover over put your mouse over the image, it'll show a little P for Pinterest, like pin it or something like that, and you can pin it from there. But if you put this extension in your extensions, then it just lets you not have to worry about trying to find that little pin it button that's there. You can save it automatically right there. So I don't know if anybody's still using Pinterest. I do, because I love the visual aspect of it. Oh, I like your suggestion, Laura, about dyslexia and Grammarly. Yes. Padlet has a fee if you have more than the minimum number of Padlets. So I've actually been using Padlets since, like, I can't even tell you how many years. I mean, maybe 10 years, something like that, but it was called Wall Wisher. Then Padlet bought it. And so I've got a ton of Padlets that I have made. Now, when they went to a fee about 2 years ago, they said, if you already have a Padlet made, that's how many you have. So I have a ton of Padlets, and I just remake my Padlets if I need to, because I can always find an old one that I'm not using anymore. But if you don't want to pay for it, then you can just use, I want to say 3, maybe 5, but I want to say 3 Padlets is your max for a free version. But I absolutely love this. And they're always adding new features to it too. So Padlet is a love. Okay, let's see. Okay, please use my Wakelet and add to your collection. Oh, so I'm not really sure what you're asking me to do, Farida. Farida. I know. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering your name.
Oh no, I wrote it in the on top that I created resources for teachers because I'm a student teacher.
Uh-huh.
I'm a teacher candidate right now, so for 1 year I won't be able to use them. But I'm gathering them for all the teachers from all the webinars. So I'm giving them as resources for every teacher. I'm not sure if in a year that I will be a teacher, I will use them because probably online will go away. But anyway, some of them are going to be useful in the future. But you can add anything you want because I have some sections for special education, ELLs. So
Oh, so you want to share your
yes,
Wakelet
I
username?
share it with all of you. So in case you want, you can you don't have to follow me if you don't want, but you can
That,
just take them and add to your collection because
that's cool. Thank you. That's great. Yeah. If you will have put your username for Wakelet, or unless you're just using the name that we see there, if we can look you up that way, that's helpful too.
yes, and then just wanted to say I do it because I just want to thank you
Aw.
for and to all the um, GEG Alaska who are accepting me. That's why it's a present from for all of you.
Oh, thank you. We are so happy to have you. Thank you, though, for the gift. We appreciate that. And I could have also created Wakelets, right, of all of these. I just really like, well, I guess because I'm so used to using Padlets, I didn't think about using the mood board with Wakelet, but I could have done the same thing that I have here on Padlet with Wakelet, which is really cool. And Wakelet doesn't have a charge now either. All right, so let's see. Next. Oh, so we've got now, that was Pinterest was the last one that I added. So now we have Flipgrid. Yes. So Flipgrid has an extension. I didn't know that one. I love Flipgrid. And we have Pear Deck. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for adding those. All right. So now we have, and thank you for adding Bitmoji. You can see my extension right up here, but for some reason I didn't even add it in here. But you know, Bitmoji, and then this extension too, Emoji Keyboard, using emojis, using Bitmojis, those are all really great ways to engage your students, make things more personal for them. The way that the emoji keyboard works is if I just go here and click on my emoji keyboard, and of course I skipped over it. There it is, emoji keyboard. It just brings up my keyboard. I can search in here or either this way or with a word. And so I have my keyboard, my emoji keyboard really handy. And then the custom cursor, if you've noticed my little sparkly rainbow arrow and hand. So if it's a link, it changes to a pointer finger. And then if it's not a link, it's my arrow. I got this from Custom Cursor. They have like so many different kinds of cursors that you can just use, or you can upload your own too. Those are just for fun, right? I love those. All right. We've got Allison going to be doing a Flipgrid session for us. Awesome. All right, we're going to move on to productivity because I see I have 8 minutes left, and this does not leave much time for questions if I don't go faster. One tab. I'm going to show you my link, my tab for one tab. I don't know if you guys are as much of a tab hoarder as I am, but I can get, obviously, the last time I collected all my tabs, 53 tabs up. I had no idea I had that many up. I thought I'd clean them out. But what happens if I click on my little one tab extension right here, it will gather all my tabs into this one tab. And I can do all kinds of things here. If you take a look here, I can restore them all. I can, so it will open them all up, or I can share them as a web page. So I have this collection, and then I can share that web page like with my students. And then there are more things that I can do on here. I can name this tab group instead of just 53 tabs. It'll say whatever I named it, and I can lock it so nothing happens to it. I can also star this. I will say one time something happened and I lost my one tab. So don't rely on this. As you see, I have a total of 417 tabs that I've collected because you could see on June 2nd, I collected 35 tabs. And when I want to use this tab again, I click on it, it will open it. But if I see, oh, I don't need that anymore, then I can click the X and I can get rid of it right here. One other thing that the Wakelet extension will do is when I do a new tab, notice over here, I have all my open tabs. Look down here at the bottom, I can create a collection with all these tabs. So if you are really organized in your tabs, then, and you know all of these have to do with this research I did for this one assignment, or this one project, then I can just collect them all and into a Wakelet collection. So the Wakelet collection is really handy with that too. But I love the one tab. Turn off the lights. If I'm not going to show you this because I'm just going to tell you so I can go by quickly. Turn off the lights. If I have a video playing on one of my web pages here, I can click on my turn off the lights extension, go right up here. Everything around the video will become dark. So it's so much easier to focus just on that video. And then I click it again to bring everything back. Rebrandly, I used to use Bitly all the time for my URL shortener, but they stopped allowing us to get the QR code. And maybe you can pay for it and get it, but I got mad at them. So I found another one. So I like Rebrandly. And Rebrandly, you can also put your own brand in there. If you have your own domain, so I have my own domain, Inspired Impact, I can create that brand. And so that all of my URLs will have Inspired Impact in the name of them. Instacalc, I mean, I thought getting to my calculator on my phone was easy, but if I click on Instacalc up here, if I don't have too many to look through, I have a calculator right there, so fast, right? So I just type in the amount here or whatever it is I need, and it will do conversions. So it's really a pretty cool calculator. Let's see. Oh, dual list. Now this one is tricky. This is another one I found last night. So I haven't really worked out all the bugs, but when you click on dual list, it will put your websites in like two windows. So kind of like the Google, the Alice Keeler classroom split. But this will take a window that you're in and separate it. I haven't quite figured out how it does that, but I know I lost a couple tabs that I had open and I couldn't even go to history and get them back. So I have to play with this one. But if it is important to you, this one actually has some very good reviews, but so you might want to try this one out. Now, just going to fun things like shopping. If you don't know about Ebates, Rakuten is now what Ebates was. So if you use Rakuten, what happens is when you're on a site, it will tell you, hey, I can get you 3% back in a rebate. And so you create your account with them. And then when you make your purchase, actually, Rakuten will send you 3%, but it only does it like every quarter, something like that, every 6 months, something like that. And so your checks can be $14, $15, which, or mine can be not huge, but still it makes it better price, right? It's a discount. So I like shopping for that one for shopping. And then I showed you what move it was because it popped up on our screen. So be sure to add any more that you have here. And all right. All right. I don't see anything else on here, but do you have any other questions, extension related or not? You know, if you come with any questions to our Google educator group, we want to be able to help you out with those. So extension questions, comments, non-extension Google questions, anything. This is a great time for that. And of course, we only have 2 minutes left. All right, not seeing anything else on here. Oh, good. Karen, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Good deal. So I'd love to know what your favorite extension was now. And if it's not your favorite yet, which one do you think might become your favorite one? Cami. Oh, yeah. Let me know what you think about that one, Karen. I think that's going to be really helpful. Anybody else have a favorite? Chelsea, you're going to love Move It because I can just see you getting, I know you're going to get up. My granddaughter, sometimes if I'm right in the middle of something, I'll actually just X out of it and I won't do it. And she says, Grandma, why do you have that on there if you're not going to do it? Oh, oh, my favorite one right now, my favorite one is Wakelet. And I really like the Move It too, because I do like, sometimes I can be at my computer for hours and it does remind me. Now, if I have laundry going, that helps me to get up and move, but because my office is in my house, so that helps me. So the Envision, so Karen, I think I understand you saying Cami is the one you might use with Envision math practice. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. That Instacalc was really pretty cool. I will use that for recipes because a lot of times I just Google it. But actually, my granddaughters gave me an Alexa for my well, let's see, the little dot thing for my birthday. So now she can help me with some measurement conversions too. So that's kind of cool. All right. Anybody else have a favorite? What you're going to try? Just go ahead and add them to our Padlet or put them in the chat. But I think now it's time for, let's see, is there one more? Karen, Chelsea, is there one more slide? Yes. So is this the one you want up, Chelsea, to end?
Yeah, sure. So again, thank you so much for everyone who came and joined us today. And thank you to Tammy. I know I definitely underutilize extensions, but now I have some that I'm excited about to try. Tammy, are you able to share the link to this presentation in the chat?
Oh, yes. Let me do that. Oops.
It's okay. As you do that, I can go through the announcements. I know them off the top of my head. So it's okay if you change the screen.
Yeah,
So,
okay, great. Because I'm not sure. I need to maybe make it shared too. I don't think I shared it yet.
okay. So as she's going to share the presentation with you guys, and that's important because on the announcement page, there are several hyperlinks that you guys can use. The first hyperlink will be to join our Google group, which we talked about at the beginning of the meeting is just a great way for us to connect asynchronously. We do host professional development every Tuesday until August. So next week, we will be presenting on auto grading using Google Forms, I believe. And then thank you, Tammy, for posting that link. And that session next week will be with Allison Curry, who is one of our Google trainers here in Alaska. So I'm really excited to see how she used Google Forms to transform her classroom. And I think the last announcement is on the presentation. You will find a link for feedback. If you wouldn't mind filling that out for us, we would love to hear what you liked, what you didn't like, and then maybe what you would like to see from us in the future. So thank you again for joining us. We're really excited to see that we have some repeat customers, if you want to call them, here. So hopefully that means we're doing sort of the right thing and you guys are enjoying what you're learning. And hopefully we will see you guys again next Tuesday. Have a great night.
Okay, so I'm going to share the presentation. Maureen said it is denied, so I'm going to be sharing the presentation soon. All right. Thanks, guys, for coming. Thanks for helping, participating. Bye. Oh, there we go. Maureen, can you get to it now? I should have I changed it. Awesome. Great. Glad it worked. See you next time.